Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles. This is episode 97 of our Legend of Zelda D&D campaign. I am ArticulateT, the Game Master, and with me, as always, I have Renji Vox, being played by the Nether Lad.
Very good evening, everybody.
I have Hikan Sio, being played by Avrdal.
Hello.
I have Zayden Shari, being played by RoboPirate.
Hi.
And I have Max, being played by Keystruth.
I'm a dozen microphone problems in a trench coat.
So, what happened last time, friends?
Microphone problems?
But
Actually, last time was more captioning problems, but after that, or rather during that, after eating and things, we went to sleep, woke up early, sparred, decided not to use Thunderstep in the middle of the night to show Hikan's new Mage Slayer feat. And then, as Max sat down to read, and Zayden decided to go take a look at the sunrise over the fields of Hyrule. After all of that was said and done, we went shopping at Uriel's, where Hikan picked up his gift from Kai, which was a yet to be identified, if people haven't seen me talking about it everywhere, tattoo. And Renji and Max got upgraded equipment, which would be the Shield of Power and the
Bloodwell Claw of Chaos.
Thank you. I was gonna mess that up. I was gonna combine like all of our stuff on that one. So,
Shielded Bloodwell Claw of Power and Chaos.
I was actually gonna call it the Eldritch Blood Claw Gauntlet of Power or something like that.
I'm okay with all of these.
Um,
The edgy 12-year-old in me is like, yes.
This hand of mine is burning red.
and then we picked up some of the stuff that we ordered the next day after scrying on Gorespire, who's currently in the middle of the still rebelling villages over to the west. And after picking up our items, we went down to Mazro village walking, decided to camp outside of the village for the night, keeping an eye on things. Renji and Zayden walked in, did some reconnaissance, and met up with Dr. Marshall, who was met with quite a lot of suspicion because people are refusing treatment. And they saw kind of the aspect of when the bells ring, people go to the church. So during the next day, not to make it seem very obvious that we were camping out and there first thing in the morning, we went over to the place of worship, and began talking with somebody that I believe there was an analogy for. It was an anti-vax analogy. I don't remember exactly what Artie had said, but it was very good.
A polite anti-vaxxer.
Yes.
Was his general vibe.
Yeah.
Near the end of last session, the bells rang, and as people came in, while we were doing our very best to convince him of a lot of the stuff that was going on that the Sovereign Hand had done, which we realized was probably going to take more time than we anticipated, the bells rang, the individuals came in, asked if he was okay, and then after he was trying to dismiss people and we were getting ready to let him have his sermon, there was a wave of magical energy that affected everyone but Hikan, because they're all spellcasters. And if I recall correctly, 2 people were given the poisoned condition, and I believe Renji's, if he has any effects, those are left to be determined. I believe that is where we left off.
I think it's very appropriate that one of the ones most affected was Boy with Magic Blood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, going back through the concept, that is a correct summary. And going back through the previous roles, it seemed that the ones affected by what had just transpired would be Max and Zayden. So they have the poison condition for the next round. While Renji, you felt a slight discomfort, but you managed to gird yourself against the magical effect of what has happened. At this point in time, each and every person around you, each of these cultists, they at least on the surface seem just as confused as you may be over what has transpired. Much like Hikan, they felt the wave of energy rush in and dissipate, but with none of them being able to cast spells in their own right, they were not as affected. But soon after it has begun, there is a light murmur of concern among those gathered. There's this kind of the next thing that you experience as part of this general situation is this kind of uncomfortable chill. Like, it doesn't feel like there's a cold breeze. It's just you have this low, lingering effect of, like, a chill that rushes up your spine like someone has walked across your grave. That's just there now, and it won't go away as soon as you might want it to.
Like a slightly too cold air conditioning.
Yeah.
That feeling like you're about to shiver, but not quite doing it.
Yeah. The next thing that happens is as you might be trying to consider what is going on, there is a sudden crash of glass as the sparse stained glass windows of the building explode inwards, and through them, with a hideous buzz, comes several swarms of insects, just piling in and twisting around as they examine the new space. And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Let me grab my token and I'll do just that. That's an 18 on the die. Let me get this visible for the people at home.
19.
Okay. So, first off,
just to check, these are swarms of insects?
yes.
Oh dear.
Bugs.
It's hard to tell terribly much, mostly because, like, granted, each and every one of you has dark vision, but the light emanating from aspiration is doing that thing that light does when it comes to things like this, which is making the swarm's size difficult to judge, at least from a glance. But it's pretty big, and there's definitely more than one of them.
Let me actually check how much light that gives off. It's just 15 by 15. 15 bright and 15 dim, so
Yeah, I think your token
30
doesn't.
feet circle.
Yeah, there you go.
And then
Okay. So, first in the order is Renji. As you can probably see from this specific area, you've got two swarms manifesting at the end of the church behind this statue, just on the plinth, and then there's one that is dangerously close to a group of civilians.
Right. Seeing all of this happening, like, the civilians here aren't currently hostile towards us. They're probably
They're
like-
a bunch of panicky randos right now.
Yeah. They are indifferent to you at this point.
okay.
In time.
They are indifferent to me. Let's see. Okay, I think I want to just run across the pews over, like, 1, 2, 3, over here. If Lucian doesn't attack me more power to me.
doesn't. Yeah.
Okay. I will, as I do so, shout to the people around, get out! Go to your houses! And from there, I think actually I will use bonus action dash to get over here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Thunderstep.
Okay.
Unless no, then I would go here to avoid this person.
Okay. So you go there. You'll move there. You'll cast Thunderstep.
And
so
I will then Thunderstep towards if I Thunderstep towards, like, and kind of like stay in this area, would I get hit as well by the clap?
I don't think you can get hit by your own thunderstep.
yeah.
Okay, then I want to switch. Like, I will bamf to here.
Okay. All right. If that's the case, yeah, you just kind of move in and you sidestep to the side. 22 damage. Ooh, nice. So DC 17 Constitution saving throw.
Could be worse.
The swarm
Oh.
passes.
Dear.
It takes. The thing is, though, were it not for the fact that it's saved, chances are it probably would have done a significant amount of damage, as the burst of energy collides with each of these insects, which you can see are these little obsidian scarab beetles that are just
Don't like this.
in concert with each other. And you deal a significant amount of damage, to the point where you believe that the swarm itself no longer has as much cohesion as well. Let's see. And I'm just going to get your passive skill scores up as well, just so I have them. Perception 20. Okay, so one thing you also notice is that these creatures seem to be trying, and despite the fact that they can't move because it's not their turn just yet, but they seem to be trying to escape from your light.
Good.
If you had to make a guess, it's possible that they do not like bright light.
They do not like bright light. Good to know.
Okay. Alright, that's your turn. Zayden.
Aiden, potentially was able to also notice their displeasure of light. So there's windows there and there. Renji's probably got that. Steam, Ranger. Oh, that's bigger than I thought that was.
Yay.
That's not when it comes to
Oh.
when it comes to those things. That's always an alarming thing to hear.
That's
a
a very
spellcaster,
alarming thing to
yes.
hear from a druid specifically.
Something like.
Unless it's fireball.
Unless it's
this, I
media
think.
swarm.
Also
1
that.
mile, 1 mile, you say? Oh boy.
Boy.
30 feet in all of these directions.
Okay.
Well, Zayden will stare into the swarm. Will, let's see. Raise his hand up high, holding a pendant of light. He casts Dawn.
Ooh. Interesting. Okay.
This light is sunlight.
It is indeed sunlight. Alright, so they attempt to make their constitution saves. One of them passes, the other one fails. So, one of them manages to kind of like, in the midst of the attack, scamper down and kind of like move most of it behind one of like the statue at the end of the room to try and hide itself away. In order to survive the onslaught. The other one is completely obliterated by the sudden burst of radiant light.
Good to know.
Zayden will also then look at the priest and say, "Don't step into the light."
Alright, okay. Like
Is
he's
there
still.
like space underneath these stairs I can shove him?
Those sadly those stairs aren't actually there.
Oh,
okay.
It's like the best church floor I could find, and sadly it's like it's yeah.
It's fun.
it's what we have.
This church couldn't afford stairs.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, anything else you want to do on your turn?
We're gonna hold a fundraiser for stairs in the next month.
Depends whether or not I can shove him in that sort of direction. Probably he'll just do that on his own turn, I'm sure.
Yeah, you might. You can gather with your passive insight. You can gather that he wants out, and he's probably of the same mind as the rest of his congregation. When Renji says to leave, he's probably going to try and leave.
His intention is bugs. Ew, no.
Yeah.
I would say
Bill Grouse.
I'd say it'd be safer to huddle in that corner till we know what's going on outside.
Yeah,
Because the bugs
true.
came from outside.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
true.
So I'd probably shout at him, "Get in the corner, away from the windows."
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. You can't.
Couple of questions. First question, are Zayden and Max still poisoned?
Yes.
Second question, would you allow me to do Flurry of Blows before taking the attack action?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do Flurry of Blows to do those to cure Zayden and Max of poison.
Okay. They're no longer nauseous.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to second Zayden's suggestion to everyone. And then I'm going to run over here since the other two people have AoE and there's more things over there. And I'm going to attempt to squish the bugs.
Okay.
12
Alright, that's a hit.
for 8, and then 21 for 9.
Okay. Still around. There's a couple of them left, but between the two of you, you've managed to take care of most of the swarm. You just after healing Zayden and Max of their discomfort and nausea, you hop over the pews, bam, bam, just in a quick swipe of attacks. You managed to take care of that.
Spend
rather
another
easily.
key point.
Yep.
To gain information. Hand of Harm.
Hand of Harm. You reach out to grab one of the insects in the swarm, and you apply like necrotic energy to it to try and drain it of its life force. It does not seem to take effect.
Excellent. But now I know that in character.
Yeah.
That'll be turn.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to use less of my movement to go over here, and that'll be turn.
All right, Max.
Did these bugs look like the one on the boat?
Yes.
Max is going to yell, "Don't get bit!"
Mm-hmm.
And bugs are dumb, right? Bugs are really dumb in our brain.
Usually.
Bugs ain't good at brain. So I'm gonna help focus this one down because it's got two of my friends next to it.
Okay.
I would like an intelligence saving throw, please.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm gonna burn their brains with their own brain sparks.
You kind of like...
Well,
13 psychic damage.
Yeah, you
they
kind
couldn't
of
have made that save.
reach out and hit with a blast of static and electricity that just hits the synapses, and there's just whatever is left, like a very efficient bug zapper. They just plummet out of the air and they're done.
I like Mind Sliver, it's fun. It does save
That's
damage.
very good.
And does it look like there's bugs outside any of the other windows?
You can't hear any bugs outside the other windows. You probably need to make for me a perception check to see if you can hear anything beyond the walls of the church.
Okay. Am I allowed to do that this turn?
Yeah, sure.
15.
It's hard to tell what with the freams and explosions and zaps and stabs and cracks of combat within this very small period of time. Because everything is happening so quickly. It's difficult to hear if there are any further of these things out there. At least for now.
I would like to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm assuming these people are gonna let me through because they're too scared.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move to here in case some come through the door.
Okay. All right. On their turn, what remains of this swarm makes a mad dash out of the light over to here. They're very quick.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah, and with Lucian being the only one who is within range when they do so, they will attempt to bite him.
Oh no.
They get a 15, which hits. They deal 4 points of damage, which he survives.
Oh, no.
And let's make for him a Constitution saving throw, shall we? A natural 1.
Oh no.
Lucian has a significant amount of his life force seemingly drained from him. Zayden, you're right next to him, so you can see kind of like his cheeks kind of draw in slightly. His skin becomes paler amidst all the different little insect bites that he's now festooned with. It probably would have been worse were the swarm any larger, but it's not looking great for Lucian. And that'll be that one's turn. Max, now that you're right next to the door and your passive perception is still decent compared to
My passive perception is higher than what I rolled.
Yeah. Essentially, what you hear, you don't hear any insects, but what you hear from outside is as you believe that whoever was ringing the bell tower from before has been spooked out of it and has met a grisly end outside the church.
Oh no.
That just kind of cringes a bit at that. Like,
Yeah.
that didn't sound good.
It did.
Oh,
not
that
sound
sounded
good.
crunchy.
And then on Lucian's go, he's going to at least be smart enough to disengage, and he's going to huddle in the corner as best he can, as instructed. Now then, the commoners, or the congregation. I'm going to roll a dice to see what goes on with these folks. In fact, how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 15. Alright, so.
We're facing our greatest enemy yet. Mob mentality.
Just the word panic in all caps.
So, 13 of their number do as suggested. They also try and move over to the corner to huddle away from a window. And then... yeah, he's fine. These three, on the other hand, still in panic mode and only remembering the first instruction that they got, which is get out of the church, they make a break for the door.
No.
Max, use an opportunity attack to subdue one of them.
Would
Oh
you
no,
like
I'm allowed to use shocking grasp as an opportunity attack. No. I could try and grapple one.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't do that as an opportunity attack, can I?
You can grapple. It should be the replacement for an attack.
Yeah.
I won't be good at it, but
So it's
I'll try.
So it's athletics or athletics versus their athletics or acrobatics, but you know they're
so it's fine.
19.
Ooh.
So you grab one of them. And they start trying to like scream, "Let me go! Gotta get out! Gotta get out!" Let's see.
Mass will respond on his turn.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Alright, so that'll be their turn. As this goes on, as two of them manage to open up the door, like one set of doors that heads outside. There we go. You can like with the door open, you can now hear coming from the rest of Masro a series of shouts and screams that just kind of wave into the building. Renji.
I will move over here. Do an attack on the swarm
Okay,
with aspiration. 27.
that hits.
That is a total of 25 damage, including sneak attack. 12 of which is radiant,
That's fine. I
and
think
Are
13
these,
of which is sneak.
are these considered undead?
they are considered undead.
Then it is 29 points of damage.
Even with any kind of resistances to halve it, you just kind of like hop over the pews, and with one or two triumphant slices, they are just no more. Whatever's left of this particular swarm is done.
And I move over here, rushing, and shouting, "Wait, no! It might be shit!" As I hear everything going to pandemonium outside.
Okay. While you're at the door, give me a perception check. Because you have a clear line
Okay.
of sight out through that door now.
That is an 18, so lower than my passive.
It's one thing you notice about what's going on outside is that the sky is kind of this dark grey. And not even just in the sense of like, oh, it's heavily overcast. No, it's just...
No, it's there's darkness.
It's just
It's
darkness.
it's just the square of grey on a color palette.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single star, there's no moon, there's nothing. It is just blank. And as you kind of bring your eyes downwards, you can see that this pervading darkness has caused this mire over the rest of Masro, like so much so that even your dark vision, magical or otherwise, is incapable of getting past a certain point, and it's just a wall of void. But the one thing that you note is that you can already see there's a few bodies on the floor of other civilians who were in Mazro, and one or two
of them is very crunched.
Yeah, one of them. Well, yeah, one of them's very crunched, but one or two of the other ones, they begin to twitch.
Oh no.
Okay.
I do shout to the people in front of me. Then, get back in the church.
Okay. Awesome. Zayden.
I guess I'd shout to Renji, are we defending the church or going outside?
I think we need to go outside, but these people need to be safe here.
Any way we can barricade this window?
You got plenty of pews.
Okay, Zayden will move to here for now. And we'll just move this now if anything comes inside, it probably has to end its turn in the deathly sunlight.
Okay.
And main action. Do I have anything? What can I see out through this window?
Much in the same way with Renji, you can see like a couple of buildings that are close enough to the church to be on the edge of your dark vision, and then nothing.
Okay.
It's just an unfortunate situation in that wherever you are now, when you left, it was the middle of the day. And if these things are scared of light, no one's got their lamps on. Okay.
In which case, I will use Druidcraft to light whatever the nearest, largest source of fire is. Is that a brazier over there?
Yeah, there are braziers over there.
So I will light fire in that brazier.
Okay. You light a fire in that brazier. It roars to life and provides more ample light within that specific area. Like it's of a larger radius as well than aspiration is, so it provides a little bit more coverage in addition to it, as long as the light is continuing to go out the window. Okay, anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, that's main action and bonus.
Okay. Hikan.
So there's still two people that at least that we know of that are outside. We know Dr. Marshall's here. I think even though our main plan is to hole up inside, Hikan's going to more to defend himself. Flavor-wise, he's walking out, telling the individual that's holding Max, or that Max is holding, to get to stay next to the light. That is how much movement? 20. Oh god, I've got movement for days. And kind of verify that to these people to stay close to the light, as I will step outside. In between all of that, he's kind of so it's tied around his waist, kind of shrugging off the cloak and then undoing the bandages that's been holding up his more injured arm, to reveal a storm-like motif on his shoulder that seems to come down in a lightning bolt at the first crack of the scar on his arms, and kind of comes down and spreads out from there as it begins to shift on its own as I activate the Eldritch Claw Tattoo as a bonus action. I believe I still have a couple of feet of movement. Yes, because I don't know, I can't see where I was beforehand. I think I used 20 feet to get here. 25. Yeah. Yep, so I've got 10 more feet of movement. So I go here. I'm going to shout to get as many people that can hear me. Into the church, turn on your lights, just kind of general instructions as far as that I can. Don't expect to help because my passive persuasion is not that high, but I'm going to take, and then Hikan quickly punches the air twice, which sends force waves up to this beastie,
Okay.
which will be 19 for 16,
That hits.
and then 12
That hits.
for 9.
Yay. Nice. As you
Very
allow the tattoo to charge your being with energy, you let loose this rush of wind and force that just utterly decimates this cloud of scarabs as they have begun their descent from the clock tower. Yeah. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
If people are watching, maybe a persuasion check to get them to come here where it's safe?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Persuasion.
I was going to say
Natural
give you advantage, but you got a natural 20.
21.
Yeah, so the
Very
21, it's hard to tell at this moment because everything's happening so quickly, but you think you might have gotten through to some people.
Alright.
Yeah. And with that done, hit Max.
I want to try and persuade this gaggle of people that we have here. First, I'm going to point at the broken one down there and say, we need that fixed, and then I point at the various things that can be lit and say, and we need as much light as possible.
Okay. Sure. Give me a persuasion or intimidation check, your choice.
Roll the natural 4 for a 17.
It's good enough. So yeah, they seem to be in a situation of like yeah, they comprehend what you're getting at and seem like they will be in the process of taking care of that on the next turn.
I'd look at the guy in my hand and go, you too.
Yeah. He kind of just nervously like nods like, yep, mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get outside with Hikan.
Okay.
And if there's any bugs in view...
Yep. It'd be these ones up here.
I'm gonna... You know what? Mine still worked good last time. Fuck it. 7 damage.
Oof.
But its saves will be worse.
Yeah.
So it's next save will have 3 less.
You kind of like.
I mean, if
Snap
I
you.
have a bonus action, I can use some sorcery points.
Yeah, you have a bonus action. That's fine. I'll allow that.
I will click in. Witch Bolt. At 2nd level. Just for the first bit of damage. That's a miss.
Yeah, that is
Probably.
unfortunately that is a natural 1. It's sadly slightly
That's mostly
harder to
fine.
hit now that there's so few of them. But yeah, you on the first you once again you snap your fingers and the burst of static and everything fries the synapses of most of what remains of this swarm. But there's a few little bugs left. And with that, it is their turn. They're going to swarm over directly at you, Hikan. And they're going to try and bite you. 17
Nope.
probably doesn't hit.
Sure doesn't.
Okay, that'll be their turn. And then with these guys, I think they're gonna begin moving over to try and move pews and stuff without getting in the blinding super death ray of sunlight that is there.
The happy sun ray of doom.
Yeah. They just begin their movement over. One of them stays behind to start lighting these candles. This one over here rushes over to start lighting these candles. The one on the door goes to light the brazier. And this one over here will run back inside to see what else needs to be done. And that'll be their turns.
Reminder, on the ship, we didn't have any instances of zombification, did we?
You didn't, but that's because no one died.
That's because no one died. Okay.
I did not let them die.
That is good. That is very good. The thing is, if we encounter zombies, does Renji know if that can be cured?
Unknown at this point.
Unknown. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to go outside with 20 feet of movement.
Mm-hmm.
Probably will. Is this the only?
It's the only swarm
Yeah,
that you
I
can
see.
see close to you at
That
this
was
point in
muted.
time.
Okay, so I'm going
We
to
probably
bonus
want to get
action
it away from the door.
dash. So this is my full movement. Bonus action
Mhm.
dash to move past it. And that is going to be, as usual, super advantage, correct?
Yeah.
Flank storms?
That is a natural 20 on one of the 3 dice.
Okay. Roll your damage, but you won't need much.
I won't need much. Okay. Knowing that, that is going to be, let's see, 10 plus 2 plus 6 plus 5, so 12 plus 11
Mm-hmm.
is 23 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, you rush out and you slice through and you finish off what is remaining of this swarm.
I'm going to then, with the remainder of my movement, which I believe is 10 feet, I'm going to move back over here.
Okay. I will send there. There we go. Okay, so as you've done that, what we're going to do now is we're going to remain in initiative, but we're going to switch it from being a combat thing to more of a skill challenge thing. So let's reassess the situation now that 3 of you are outdoors and you have additional light out there and everything now. Okay, so you have...
With that, can I... It requires an action to expand the radius of my Sunblade.
Mhm.
It's light. And you say it's a skill challenge. Is this still in initiative?
It's still an initiative, but we'll...
Okay.
Yeah, we're just essentially just for the sake of like getting through people's actions in their turns and everything like that. So,
Yep. Gotcha.
So, you have 16 non-combatants in the church who are currently beginning the process of using the pews to block up windows and lighting whatever light that they can manage. Outside, you have a town or like a village in disarray. You can already see that there are plenty of bodies on the floor, and some of them are beginning to rise as zombies. There are a few more swarms that are moving their way throughout the rest of Masro, and you can also see that whoever has survived, they have heard the call to come to the church and probably already made that assumption anyway, considering the situation. So they are going to probably move on their turn towards the church. So in this particular predicament, Renji, what do you do to try and alleviate this problem? You can either help barricade the church when people come in, you can help move people to the church, you can fight off some of the zombies and the swarms.
I think a combination of the latter two.
Okay.
So if I see anything that is swarm-y or zombie-ish, I will fight, and within my own turn still I have one action, one attack and my sneak attack left. And if there's people around, I will position myself between any danger and those people.
Okay. In that case, I would like you to give me an attack roll and your choice of either an acrobatics or an athletics check.
Okay. Let me start off with the attack roll. That's a 17.
Okay.
And I'm going acrobatics because I have a +2 in that. That's a 10.
Okay.
Not great.
So, we'll describe what happens to you in a little bit. Next up on the initiative order, Zayden, what do you intend on doing in this scenario?
I know that Lucian, as long as he doesn't die, will be fine with regards to that fight, right?
Yeah, you, because you saw it with Renji and a couple of the other members of the crew. They just required time to rest to get over the exhaustion part.
He needs a big dinner and a long nap.
Yeah.
Not to worry about him in that way. In which case, how many more lights, like lightable things, are there in the show?
There's a couple, but you'll have to. Yeah, there are a few that haven't been reached yet, but they're mostly by the altar. But you do have, with the pews and other bits and pieces, you do have spare wood that you can just put into piles and light as like campfires and stuff if you need to. I think at this point in time, considering the situation, I don't think anybody here is going to be annoyed at anyone doing anything like that, because you've got, like, on the altar you've got these candelabras, and you have like a couple of other small bits and pieces. Like, if asked, Lucian would probably be able to point you in the direction of spare candles that they can just light and put up as best they can.
Okay, so they've lit these candles directly by this window.
Yeah.
Those are the only other windows?
Those are the only other windows.
Okay, so what Zayden will do is he will caution the commoners before he does this thing. Don't worry, this is just me. It's all still safe. And he will take upon Earth Elemental form.
Okay.
Then I will... see, I go to there. Yep, I didn't want to draw that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll move to here. Move this to here.
Okay.
And I'm basically getting ready to blockade these windows with the pews.
Okay. Grand. Considering the form that you have taken, I don't really think that there's going to be anything else that I'm going to need you to roll on that one. So,
I am big, I am strong.
Yeah, you're big, you are strong. It is what you do. Okay. Hikan, what is your plan in this situation?
My plan is to clear a path to the church, specifically looking for Dr. Marshall, because he's like, I know, like, of everyone in this village, he's the person I like most.
Okay.
But it's mostly clear a path. It's like going forward because I can attack at a distance now, making sure that trying to save as many people as possible. It's just my focus is to get to Martel, make sure he can get to the church safely.
All right. So if that is the case, I want you to give me an attack roll to clear through bad guys. I also want you to give me either an investigation or a perception check to find Dr. Marshall.
28 for 14.
Okay.
Perception, 25.
Okay. Right. We'll get to you in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Max, what is your plan in this situation?
I'm gonna set up a storm sphere above the door so
Okay.
that bugs can't come down above us, and I can zap anything that comes too close.
Okay.
And that will be the normal level 4 storm sphere. And I'm just gonna keep telling people to get over here, turn lights on, that stuff.
Okay. All right. If that's the case, I would like you cast your spell. That's something that you've done plenty of times before. You don't need to roll for that, but I
Yep.
would like you to do either a persuasion.
I'll just give you
or
the damage anyway.
Yeah. I'd like you to do either a persuasion or intimidation check to issue instructions as people rush in through the door. Okay. I mean, like, yes, it's a nat 1, but it's a skill check, so that doesn't matter, and it's still
14.
a 14. Okay. All right. So, here is what happens in total. Renji, you are cutting a swath through these new enemies that have appeared in the village. You're prioritizing as you go, as you like see people who are in danger. You rush through, you burst through doors, bright shining sword in hand, and you slice at whatever's might be attacking them, and you usher them outside and point them towards the church as you continue going on. For the most part, everything seems to be going okay. Like, you're able to find your mark on these enemies rather reliably. Yes, they might be swarms of bugs, but they're like with the way that you've gone through it already, and the advantage that you have with the light of your weapon, it is clear that they're not going to pose much of a threat to you. Same with the zombies. They're too slow. They can't actually catch up to you in any capacity. But with your acrobatics, you find yourself stumbling every so often as you do so, as you kind of rush through this scenario. And you find yourself like slowed down a little bit as you briefly twist your ankle. It's not a bad twist. You're still able to move. It's just that it's an irritation, and it does slow you down a little bit. But otherwise, you keep going. You keep rushing through, and you manage to save a bunch of individuals as you go through with it. Next up on the list is Zayden. Zayden, you utilize the might of your elemental form in order to... is it just like picking up heavy objects and like moving them in places? Or is it literally... Are you able to like move the stone of the walls of the church to close in on these windows?
Sadly not.
Okay.
It's just big, strong elemental.
Yeah, in that case, you are more than capable of just hefting these pews and altars and everything, and just placing them against these now broken windows at the end of the church. Thankfully, because of the general smallness of the building, the windows themselves are not like your standard big, tall stained glass affairs. They're fairly small and humble by comparison. You just kind of prop stuff up and blockade them, and everything seems to hold fairly reliably. Hikan, in your efforts, you kind of move into a break sprint and part ways with Renji as he goes off to help more members of Mazrou village. You make a mad dash through these zombies and swarms to the building where you're likely told where Dr. Marshall had been staying. And while he's not in the building, you can see that he has moved over to another house 2 doors down, and in one hand is holding a lit torch, and he's just kind of swinging it back and forth as he backs away from slowly moving zombies that are moving towards him. But again, this is child's play for the 4 of you. You just run forward and knock this thing down with a tremendous amount of force. And Macho looks over, she says, "Oh, good. It's good to see you. What in the blazes is going on?"
Time, have to get more people to the church. Keep light, and I will slow down to stay with him to keep him safe.
Right. He just kind of nods and moves with you as you make your way back and try and get as many other people to follow you as you can. And as you and Renji both make your way back to the church, you see this towering sphere of storm and lightning that is a comforting sight for the 2 of you, because you know who has summoned it. And you can see Max standing there, eyes alight with this magical lightning, as he's just in a commanding and powerful tone, just telling civilians as they rush in through the door, get in, light something, help barricade the windows. Just it's quite the sight. And as you all rush in, and the last of you make your way into the church, you move in, the door slams closed, and you push whatever's left to barricade up against the door, and for now, you are safe.
I leave Storm Sphere on and have it just zap some zombies or whatever occasionally until it runs out. It's a minute.
Yeah. You kind of like as you return inside, you can see behind you there is a scared collection of people who are just on the bare floor, with most, if not all, the pews just kind of pushed up against whatever was remaining of the windows and doors. It's nice and brightly lit in here, but it's it is quite a sad sight, as one by one each remaining civilian of Masro just realizes what's happened. Not exactly, but they realize what has happened, and they've just they just kind of like allow themselves to feel that despair. As you
Is anyone hurt? I know Lucian was hurt.
there are a few people who are injured, and between you and Dr. Marshall and Zayden, I imagine you guys are able to tend to the most grievous of wounds rather quickly. You won't even need to roll medicine or anything like that. It's fine. Who has the sending stone?
That would be me.
Okay.
And I think, queried like this, that I'll... Because the sending stone... Mara had the sending stone, correct?
Mara
Or
has
was
the
it
other,
Impa?
the other end, yeah. Mara has the other
The
end
other
of
end, yeah.
the sending stone.
I think I will hail her and immediately mention that we encountered the scarabs from the sealed isle again.
So as you said, like, as you go to reach for the stone, it springs to life in your hand, and you hear, "Hello? Hello, are you there?"
Mara? Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I just got to. Where's Masro?
What do you mean?
It's not there. Why are you taking so long to respond? Hello?
I'm
Hello?
not. Hello? Shit. I am responding as fast as I can.
But I don't understand. It's taking you like 40 minutes to come back. There's nothing here. Masro is gone. It's just gone.
I think we're stuck in some sort of demi-plane.
I'm gonna look out the window. Do I see the trees that were around Masro?
You do not.
I'm gonna say, yeah, we're not there anymore.
Okay. We are stuck in Masro. The scarab beetles from the sealed isle are here. Have been attacked. What do you mean Masro isn't here anymore?
It's just, and it's like every time she answers, there's like a bit of relief, and then just continued panic as she responds like, I got here and there's nothing here. It's just, it looks like there used to be a town here. There's flat land and dead grass and mud and everything where buildings should be and foundations should be, but it's gone. There's nothing here. It's just gone. The walls, everything. It's there's nothing here. Just
I roll an Arcana check.
with the 20 through the books that you had added to your collection and then read on occasion, you do remember seeing that there had been fairly great magics that were capable of transporting people and things to entirely different planes of reality. However, where exactly you are is eluding you.
I'm just gonna say to Renji, we're on another plane.
Reggie's face goes expressionless for a moment. I think I need some privacy.
I'm gonna look around to see if there is any privacy here. Considering the tiny amount of space in this church.
In the church, no. There's not much in the way of privacy.
You're gonna have to talk very quietly.
I think I need to go to the bell tower then.
Okay.
I'll have my sword with me. I'll be safe.
Okay.
I try and sneak out.
Okay.
Before I do, I will use my shield's one charge to regain a spell slot.
Okay. Sure. With your passive stealth, I think you're fine. You chances are, as you say, you need some privacy. Your comrades probably are aware that that's fine. They trust you, and no one else within the church has a high enough perception to catch you. So they just you just disappear.
Okay. As I get to the bell tower, I will just, as if talking to someone next to me, say, "Harvester, is this your doing?" Harvester.
Renji.
Honestly, I'm sort of relieved that you're here.
Our connection transcends that of old magics, to be sure. But no, I could not claim credit for this.
Older magics?
Yes, something far older than even I, at least by my reckoning. It's rather impressive that such a backwater hole of pathetic individuals could be subject to such classic incantations.
Any advice on how to get out of here?
Unfortunately, my connection to you can only provide so much power, and as we are aware, you are currently in the business of severing such a thing. And I do not believe any of your comrades would be capable of performing a similar task. But fear not. You are in a new world, a world that has pulled you and these others from the material plane. If there is a way to get in, there is a way to get out. Perhaps some exploring might be how do you say, in need.
Yeah, you're always such a great conversationalist. I wonder why I and Delilah are the only ones that have a pact with you.
You think you two are my only agents?
So or not. Good to know.
Oh dear. Do not fret,
Now that we do have a
Renji.
moment. Oh.
No. If I had the capability of pulling you back to the material plane to complete your task, I would. But unfortunately,
See, that is curious to me. Why do you want me to break the pact?
that would be tempting.
Because there was that little hint you gave about breaking all of the pacts, right?
That is true. But, well, just because all pacts are broken does not necessarily mean that I cannot create more. And besides, you were the one who gave me what I wanted. Which is why I'm so willing to acquiesce the secrets of terminating our agreement.
See, I think there's something that you're getting out of the termination.
And you'll just have to find out when you do.
Alright, if you want to be like that, be like that.
I would.
I'm going to miss our little talks. And with that, I'm going to try and shut him out.
You shut him out. He like the last thing you hear is like a slight.
You're still in that.
I'm still in that, aren't I?
I will say the Harvester Echo is not very accessible. The captions were very, very interesting.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's all right. That's okay. He's an otherworldly eldritch being. Of course, he screws with technology. It's what he does. But
I just looked at my captions, and there's a giant block of text, and I said like 2 words of it.
Oh dear.
You got the problem I was having.
Oh dear me. But yes. So as you shut him out, you just hear like this fading chuckle that kind of leaves the back of your mind, and you return to, "Hello, Reggie, are you there?"
Yes, still here.
It's been okay, right. So you're in you're in another, right.
We're in a demiplane where things move faster then outside, this is old magic. As far as I can tell, with the appearance of the death scarabs, I think this is as old as old as the temple on the Sealed Isle.
Damn it. I'm making my way back to Hyrule Castle Town to see if I could get back to the library and start, but I'm looking through my journal and yeah, why did it have to be there? Why did it have to be there? There's something that is mentioned in my notes here. It's called the Plane of Lament. It's a specific small area that is focused on necrotic power. We'll try and find a way to get you back. I'm gonna speak to Uriel. We're gonna see if we can get you back, okay?
Good thinking.
I-
Uriel. Any of the temple heads, this, as I said, this is old magic. The being that I am in contact with said it is older than it is. So, dawn of Hyrule things.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to get used to waiting so long for you guys to get back. Okay, alright. Okay, I'm almost back to Hyrule Castle Town now. I just need to... I'll try and get back in touch with you as soon as I can. Just be careful, please, all of you.
All
please.
of us, we're all safe so far. We will do our best. You know us. You know what we're capable of.
Okay. Just...
I trust you, Mara. I know that you will do whatever you can. We are going to do the same.
Okay. I'll, get back to you when I can. Just be careful.
Thank you. We will. And I started leaving the tower.
Alright, while you're in the tower, give me a perception check.
For you, always.
Ah, so kind.
I rolled a 3.
You cast your eyes to what you assume to be the west, if the orientation of Masro was the same as it was.
Mm-hmm.
You think you see a glimmer of something off in the distance, in the sea of darkness. The only thing that you can tell between the sky and the horizon and the ground is that the ground is slightly darker. But you think you see a glimmer of something off in the distance, but you cannot tell what it is. It certainly looks like a light, but it's very small, or possibly
It's
very
something
far
that
away.
Ooh. Both are possible. But that is something that I will definitely mention when I go back and tell the people inside, specifically my party, about what I've discussed with Mara and what I've gleaned from my personal conversation.
Okay. Yeah, you slip back inside, you return to your comrades. Lights are still going. The people inside are just kind of coping as best they can. And you regroup.
And I will
This is the
mention,
Sovereign Handland, right? There's like...
as far as I can tell, yes.
There's the bugs from the island, there's zombies, it looks like shit. This is Sovereign Handland, right? This is Sovereign Land?
It's called the Plane of Lament, but
Okay.
yes, it does seem to be the case. This is what the Sovereign Hand does.
Okay, how do you know where it's called?
Because Mara told me. Mara
Okay.
is in contact with us through the Sending Stone. However, it does seem that time moves faster in here. So whenever I send a message back to her when she just spoke to me, about 40 minutes have passed.
On her end.
On her end.
Right.
She's going to be in touch with Uriel and the bishops over at Castletown. And I also noticed something to the west of the village. I don't know exactly what it was, but like it wasn't the static gray and dark gray that I saw.
Okay. So there's stuff.
Think so. Coupled with my personal conversation, there was the advice to explore.
I'll check the door.
I will hold aspiration close by.
You head over to the door, Hikan, and you kind of move stuff aside just a little bit so you can peer out. What you can see is a very interesting sight. You can see a collection of Masro civilians, but two things that you notice immediately. One, the vast majority of them are covered in bug bites. Very clear bug bites. And the other thing is that either hanging from their belt or held in a hand is a small lantern with a green flame in it.
Oh no.
They don't seem angry, they seem confused.
Oh no.
Hey. Can I count? How many bug bites can I see?
It's a lot.
Okay.
It's the amount you would expect from someone who was possibly swarmed by a large swarm of scarab beetles.
I do remember we rolled really high Arcana to know that these things, that the beetles do turn people into zombies.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'll say high. I think. Yeah, I'm not going to move anything. I'm not going to currently let them in at the moment.
Okay. The one at the front who was knocking on the door looks at you and says, hi. I don't, we don't know what's going on. Just, that I was, all I remember was that things went dark, and then there were a lot of bugs, and it hurt, and then I woke up a little bit ago, and I had this, and he lifts up the lantern and it clanks a bit. He says, I don't, we don't know what's happened. And then someone at the back says, I think I saw myself on the floor outside. I don't, what's going on? Please?
It means you're dead, right?
Okay.
Max is going to say that out loud because he knows that the Sovereign Hand's religion means you should be okay with death.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's very clear, like, as you say that, there's just a moment of recognition through all of them. None of them seem, like, immediately, like, relieved. None of them seem, like, horrified in that same sense. They just kind of, like... I think the thing they're grappling with is that, despite the fact that they are dead, and chances are they are fully aware of the fact that they are dead, they're just grasping the fact that they are still experiencing fear and emotion and stuff, which is what their religion promised they would be free from in the power of undeath.
They were lying.
It's like, Yeah, almost as if all that stuff they were saying was wrong, right?
Okay,
I say, looking at Lucian specifically.
Hikan is going to take a deep breath. Put on his probe hat. No, I'm kidding. He's going to some of the Etheria pamphlets. He goes, I'm going to come out there so I could talk to you guys, okay? I'll be right back.
I'll be joining you.
And I'll close the door.
I'll be joining Hikan.
I'm not stepping outside through the front door.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not going to undo the barricades to have people redo the barricades.
Yes. Yes.
I am going to hand out some of the pamphlets to some of the more frightened, or some of the frightened but still reasonable Mastro types. And be like, we can talk about that later. Not best time, but
I'm just gonna point at them, look Lucian dead in the eye, and say, "Does that look like freedom from pain to you?"
He's unable to properly form any kind of response.
I don't want an answer. I'm just telling him.
Yeah, he just can't really, because it's quite clear that while he
This is the best refutation of his religion I can have. So that this right there, that's it. That's what you were getting.
Yeah. So even if Max says that without wanting a response, it's quite clear that Lucian cannot form one, because even though he was a leader here, he also bought into the lie as much as everybody else did. He was just kind of self-powering in that sense.
But he was also the guy preaching it, so if I can get through to him, then that gets through to the rest of them.
Yeah. In the most cataclysmic fashion, this entire village is currently going through a crisis of faith, and they're in the stunned phase of that at the moment.
Yep, I'm gonna let him sit with that for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave some reading material, take a few with me, and then I'm going to go out through the bell tower using slow fall to get down.
Okay. You head outside and you can see, like, there doesn't appear to be any further undead, and there doesn't appear to be any further swarms just kind of hiding in the shadows or anything. They just kind of are, like, these, as we could probably call them by now, these Poes are just they are unable to really kind of go any further. But as you approach, they don't shirk away, they don't attack or anything. They just kind of stand and also stew in their
They also still look like people and not like little cartoon ghosty boys.
They look like perfectly humanoid individuals. The thing that you note probably is that, like, as Hikan, as you get closer with your medical expertise, you can see quite clearly that the markings on them aren't all bug bites. Some of them have they have scars in certain places of sizes and shapes that would seem almost impossible. You can reason that the scars are there as the thing that killed them. And otherwise they are just perfectly humanoid individuals. Maybe a bit paler, maybe a bit like the light in their eyes is definitely not there, but they are just they are otherwise perfectly humanoid individuals. Like, at a distance, you probably wouldn't be able to tell any kind of difference between them and a living person.
Question. Do a couple of them have marks like they've been affected by a Goma parasite?
No, interestingly enough. In fact, what you
So those Goma people might still be in their buildings.
Either that, or they are dead, and they have died. Like, it's just, there's an entire possibility that they are either still alive in their buildings or they died, but they haven't manifested here, interestingly enough. But yeah, and you hand out these pamphlets, or like try and console them.
Sit there. It's more going forward and consoling them, talking to them, speaking not from an aspect of faith type of thing, which like it's more like this is here if you want to talk about it. This is what I know about the bugs, and this is why we're at where we're at right now.
Okay.
I will have joined Hikan. I will use a Misty Step to get down safely. What I also want to see is how they react to the light of the Sunblade.
They don't seem to mind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, thinking that, I will ask, like, Max will have a thought and just go, hey, do any of them look like they died from the Goma stuff? Because there were some people affected by that, right? You should probably go see if they're still there.
The as you look through, going through the scars that they are experiencing or have had on their bodies, none of them appear to have died by the.
I'm
Goma
saying this through the
parasite.
door. I'm not going outside.
Oh yeah.
This place sucks.
Like as you pass it on, like Hikan can look at these people. If Hikan were to go and have a look to see what he can find, yeah, the Goma infected are still there. In fact, there's one or two that from your time in the settlement next to Lake Hylia, that they've gone full Goma, and they are, with all intents and purposes, dead and being piloted by a parasite. But they don't have a ghost here.
Interesting.
I think we should stop them.
Yeah, I like part of me was just like, okay, I would have some of these ghosts help. It's kind of an aspect of like take us to where some of these infected were type of thing, rather than just looking on our own. Kind of give people something to do in a time of crisis. So then it's like, okay, thank you for that, and then we just kind of go behind the alley, and I'm just like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
That's fine. Yeah, you can
infected individuals.
You can provide mercy to whoever needs it, and yeah, as you guys are doing that back in the church, Dr. Marshall will approach. What's Zayden been doing this time? And in this time, is he still an Earth Elemental, or has he since reverted back?
Probably reverted back, settled in for a short rest to recover slots in case of needing more shapeshifting.
Yeah. So he kind of, like, Dr. Marshall will approach you, and if Max, you're nearby, he will kind of include you in the conversation. He says,
I'll move if I'm waved over.
yeah, he does. He kind of waves you over a bit. He says, I don't
I'm keeping
know.
my eye on the congregation.
Yeah. I am unsure. I'm willing to do what I can to help these people. But I'm not exactly sure how much use I will be to you in whatever happens next. If you need to go out and see what is going on, I can keep an eye on these people here.
I don't know how much more we're gonna learn just sitting here. And we need to learn more about this place to get out of here.
Then go. I can take care of these people as best I can.
I am not going to stay in this plane.
Of course not.
That's all I
I don't
know.
think anybody would want to.
Yeah, sucks. This is the shittest place I've ever been. And I've been to some pretty shit places.
Yes, if you need to get moving, then feel free to. I will keep an eye on things here for the moment. So long as we have enough light, which I believe we shall, then we should be fine.
Sidon will look to the doctor and will once again hand him the decanter of endless water.
Ah, Thank you.
Just in case you need it.
Just in case. Yes.
Oh, also, I handed him a bag of, like, probably about 80 good berries.
How long do good berries keep for? Is it like 24 hours?
24
Typically
hours.
20. They stay
They-
in.
they were the
are still
amount you
berries
made it- They were the amount you made after your last long rest. Before your last long rest plan, basically.
I think our last long rest was in Castletown, so
No.
pretty much.
No, we had one
rest
just
was-
outside the town.
Mhm.
Oh, in which case, I think I had almost all my spell slots, so more like 100.
Okay.
You did not have one spell slot for sending, or for scrying.
Yeah, that was the only one you spent.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
I
that's about
think you did a
100.
pass without trace as well.
Okay.
So those are the only
100
spell slots you used before the long
1, 2,
rest.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 140 good berries.
It's just like this big bag. It's like, oh, well, thank you.
They will provide one full meal until sort of stares at the like gloom and says, until sometime later today. And then they're just normal berries afterwards.
Well, that's fine. It's rations. That's the important thing.
I would advise making sure everyone eats one now as the magic's still working.
Okay. Yeah, he gets up to take care of that and says, I suppose you probably should return to your friends and make plans.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to you.
I guess we'll team back up, make some plans.
Okay. So after outside with the pose, Renji and Hikan, as you're kind of tending to these individuals, you are rejoined by Max and Zayden.
Mhm. All right. Should we head west? Or do you have any other things?
Maybe we should take another look. Just in case.
Look at what?
What's around?
All right.
I think Hikan can climb up there the easiest.
That is true.
To get the best look around.
Have a broom of flying.
Also, Sidon
If
can
you'll
fly.
help me up, then I wouldn't mind using my plus 10 perception.
Sidon will offer you the broom of flying.
There
Is
you
it?
go.
Is it something that you need to attune to or not?
No.
No.
Just
Amazing.
need the command word.
Okay, then Renji is going to be airborne for a moment.
Okay.
I will climb to the top of the bell tower to try to give the help action.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So roll perception with advantage.
That is a 17.
It's better than it was before when you did this.
It's better than it was before, that is true.
Yeah. So as you kind of like situate yourself at the top, you can now quite clearly see this light that is off in the distance. You can judge that it may be a fairly decent walk away, and the size of the light seems to be fairly small, and it flickers in and out every so often, so you can only assume that it might be inside a building, or maybe it's just behind something that is between you and it. But it hasn't moved from before, so at the very least the landscape isn't changing around you.
Okay.
The one upside it has on the last words.
Point of order, just a couple of questions. Zayden made mention of a short rest. Did we all get the effects of a short rest after calming down?
I will say so, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Must be nice.
It must be nice. It must be
I need
nice.
to get that feat that lets me get stuff back on a short rest.
To get your spell
Yeah.
slots back on
But
the
I know I
short
have to
rest.
spend hit dice for it, but I don't usually spend them for anything else.
I
So
was gonna say, yeah, you could convert
I could just
sorcery points and then.
I could just spend a hit dice and say, "Give me stuff back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what I spend it for.
Good.
I don't have to like actually get hit points when I spend them.
No.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
we actually talked about that at the end of the end of the session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had that
that's
from
next on
the.
my that is next on my shopping list.
I thought you had something like that from your Bloodwell vial.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot that was a thing. Well, you can regain 5. Okay, I spent 2, so I will gain my second level spell slot back. So it goes to 5, and then I will gain the 5 from the vial. There we go.
Mhm.
And back up to 4.
Yeah.
And I have spent 1 slot now at 4th level, which I can't afford.
Slots. Ah.
Right.
Okay. So you so you now have a heading. Are you going to go straight there, or is there anything else you want to do before leaving Masro?
Is there anything that we?
I'm gonna tell the people inside. Do not open the door unless the people there say Storm's Eye.
They'll kind of nod in recognition. Dr. Marshall just kind of gives a nod and says, I will be situating myself by the door. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I will say, yeah, we should go.
Right.
I don't know if this place has the tricky shit where it's like, please let us in with some monsters or whatever.
okay.
Oh, that's valid.
So I've given them a code.
Have I gotten anything back from Mara?
Not
Oh.
yet.
Okay.
Titan's
That-
internet has died.
Oh no.
Oh no!
I don't know how long it will take to get back, so we should probably keep going or stop here. I don't know which.
Mm,
We can keep going for a little bit. And hopefully,
We can at least, start going in a direction.
yeah.
Gain a
Go
headache.
toward the light.
Yeah, because nothing stood out when we were trying to find those Goma, right?
Yeah, nothing stood out at all.
But
So-
didn't.
Hmm?
How long did the? Because those people all died from ghost bites, right? And not ghost bites, bug bites, right?
Yeah.
The ghosts.
Mhm.
Did the people who you killed who were Gomerified come back as ghosts?
They
Because
did
they came
not.
back really fast. Okay. So the ones who died from bugs come back, but the ones who died from other stuff don't. Okay.
Yeah, as far as I can say, as far as we could see with the bite attack,
Mhm.
on a failed save, the creature takes 1 level of exhaustion, and creature that
I'm
is
back.
killed either by damage
Good.
or by exhaustion.
That's
Welcome back.
That's not what I'm
That's for the
specifically
Goma.
highlighting.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so to
things
elaborate,
anti-bugs.
yeah.
What
so
I'm
to-
specifically highlighting is things that died from the bugs became
Mhm.
ghosts and stuck here, but the things that died from other stuff didn't.
to be a bit more specific from what Hikan's rudimentary medicine capabilities had shown, is that if they had been killed by the bugs or been killed by a zombie, they came back as a ghost. If they
It's
died
not
to the
specifically
Goma,
the bugs, okay.
yeah. It's yeah.
But the Goma stuff or the ones that,
Yeah, the Goma or
anything else.
Yeah, you
so
notice
far.
the guy who fell from the bell tower also didn't come back.
That was killed by gravity.
Yeah. But yes, so with your party gathered, you venture forth, you leave Mazro. As you leave Mazro, one of the things that you note is that the obelisks on the outside, they have since blown apart. In the little 5-foot obelisk that they were using to ward off as a general protection thing with the gibberish, abjuration, wrong spells carved into the stone, that stonework has split apart and fallen away, revealing this black steel needle that sits in the middle that, with Renji, with your magic eyes, you can tell reeks of this powerful sense of magic. I just need to see what school of magic it is.
It's conjuration, but through the town, wasn't it? Was it that?
Yeah, it was conjuration. Yeah, you are correct. It is. Yeah, so it's quite clear that these obelisks are the thing that had moved Masro to this plane of reality.
We should have been.
You wouldn't have been able to see. You wouldn't have been able to see that through the stone.
I know we didn't see it through, but the fact that those things were there.
I don't think anyone. I don't know if anyone would have known that. There's no one here.
We've seen.
They all seemed remarkably unaware.
We have seen things, not exactly like this, but deceit through magic.
I want to get a closer look at the needles. Just so we can get a good look at them to make sure that we can recognize them when we see them again.
That's absolutely fine. You take a good look at the needles. They appear to be of the same kind of obsidian metal.
I'm going to take as many notes on the looks as I can so that we can compare them to other things, and my intelligence is dumb, so...
In fact, if anybody is actually observing the needles, they can also make an intelligence check.
Yeah.
Intelligence or Arcana?
Intelligence. This is general memory.
Okay. 13 and a 21 for Zayden.
I'm sure Zayden's gonna get it, but I'm sure that we've talked about the limits of how that you can see magic. Would we know that? Oh wow! Would we know that? 17, by the way. Would we know that things being buried behind a certain amount of stone would say block detect magic?
Yes.
Yeah.
You would note that it is the thing that surrounded it was very much stone. So it was of a thick enough layer to block the magic within. Hikan and
we
Zayden,
would have had no way of seeing these.
Yeah. While all of you recognize that the needles are made out of a material that looks very similar to to like the consistency of the scarab beetles that you were just fighting, though it's quite clearly different. Zayden and Hikan, you note that the metal looks very similar, almost identical to the material that the being in the flashback dream sequence that Power Word killed Tyrina and led the assault on Blackmoor that's what the sword was made out of.
So
That's concerning.
So very definitely all related.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like you finish making the notes so that you can instantly recognize one of these needles if they ever come back. Or like
Any
even just the
markings on
metal itself, so you can recognize what materials are used in these kinds of spells.
Any markings on them?
They're quite thin, so it's possible that there aren't any markings on it because there's just not enough space to put them.
Okay. No little sovereign hand logo.
Yeah, it's like teeny tiny engraving.
You gotta brand your evil, guys.
Made on the sealed isle.
Yeah. But yeah, you after making those notes, you
Made by arbiter surname.
Do check out my Etsy shop.
certificate of
This
authenticity.
is my Instagram.
I
Remember to like and subscribe.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
I don't have anything against people with an Etsy shop.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends have an Etsy shop.
Yeah.
There's some cool things on there,
Yeah.
True.
You know,
and
I'm gonna-
also apparently some evil. But
apparently. Speaking of evil, I'm gonna do the dumb thing.
Most-
And I'm gonna try to
that's
touch
most
one.
platforms. Okay.
Okay. You reach out and touch one. It's unnaturally
thought you
cold
had
to
five.
touch, but nothing harms you in any way.
What happens if I try and hit it with aspiration?
Yeah. You want to try to hit it?
You try and hit it with your sword. Interestingly enough, what you would expect from a blade of pure radiant energy, you didn't expect it to bounce off of it like it was a solid sword.
But that's what it does?
It does that, yeah. You just kind of, you swing,
Huh. Huh. Okay.
like a lightsaber hitting another lightsaber.
Oh.
Okay. Don't think we can learn much else from the spike itself, so I think we've tested it with all of the things, aside from I don't know, licking it or something. But don't do that. You don't know.
No.
Yeah, if you lick it, you get stuck.
It is unnaturally cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah. Anyway, you after a rudimentary amount of investigation, you march onwards west. It feels like it takes a lot longer than you would expect it to. As Mazur kind of disappears into the background, your vision simply becomes two different shades of grey with a small pinprick light in the distance that you're walking towards. Perfectly flat ground beneath your feet, crunching as if you were walking on grass, but as you look down, it doesn't look to be that way, or at least it might be just like a low level of mist or something that's just stopping you.
I think after a while with Mazro in the background, I turn to Hikan. What would happen if you used that Quake medallion?
Matt is very instantly giving you a don't look.
It's not a thing that we should do.
Just don't.
Not here, not now.
I don't know, can I make a religion check? Shot in the dark?
Sure, go for it.
Alright, cool. Was there any mentions of extraplanar activity in the Book of Mudora?
You don't remember. You might have to look back through it.
Okay. Well then, I just gotta see, do I have advantage because I looked through the book? But, no. Natural 20 for 18.
Amazing.
Okay.
Hikan is having an attack of the
Wonderful.
brains today.
As far as you can tell, even though it doesn't look like normal ground beneath you, ground is ground. You can stamp your foot, it's solid. That's you feel that it probably would still work as it is described to in this particular plane of existence. The thing is, you're not exactly sure if it'll have any boosted effect considering where it is, or if it'll have just a different effect particularly, but you feel like it will work. But the exact details, even within the Book of Mudora, because it's quite clear that the author didn't anticipate this medallion being taken to a different plane.
The author has never been to the plane of depression before.
Yeah.
How rude.
How dare you not account for the exact question that I have later in the authorial cycle than you intend?
Yeah. So at this moment in time, you think it will work, but you don't know exactly in what fashion.
I just look at Renji and just kind of shrug and go, ground's ground.
Speaking of the ground, is it like
Very
dirt
profound.
or sand? Is it like dirt or sand or stone?
It has a consistency of grass and dirt, but
Okay.
it's this kind of as you look down, you can. it's hard to describe. It's like as if you're walking on grey moss.
Okay.
It's this sort of like weird spongy material that crunches like dirt. It's just but yeah. After what feels like several hours worth of walking, you begin to actually get closer to this little bit of light. It appears to be coming from the inside of a small, decrepit hut that appears to be built in in a much older style. It's a two-story building, but like the architecture of it seems to be from an era long gone. Yeah.
Take a drink of water.
Yep.
Master says, I guess Mazra wasn't the first thing dragged here.
Doesn't appear to be.
Do we want to say hi?
Might as well.
Seems like the polite thing to do.
Okay.
Hi, brackets cautiously.
Yeah, I have my sword drawn, so
Yeah.
If
Mass
you
is
guys
just-
want to
Mass
sit
is-
there and...
Mass is just gonna flex the gauntlet, but be like right behind you.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go ahead and check the door then, and I'll just walk up to the door and kindly knock on it.
So you knock on the door,
Uh-huh.
and after a moment, there's a just a minute.
Oh, they have a
And
Zoran
I-
accent.
again,
as the door opens and you see standing before you in very, very ornate robes that are tattered at the front, kind of revealing his chest where a scar spiders out like a lightning wound, appears to be a Caesora, who, much like the residents in Mazro, attached to his belt is a green flamed lantern, and he has a staff in one hand, and he looks over at you and says, "Can I help you?"
Hello.
I glance over at Zidon. That's not your wife.
I blink at him, looking at the nails on, nods my head.
Congratulations, you've cracked the case.
There's
Just
only questions.
Mass is gonna say
As
hello. We just got here.
he kind of
yes,
like as you say that, he looks over you and say, "Are you sure that you are dead?"
we are
Looks
not.
down at where the
Okay.
lantern should be. No.
As far as we can tell, we are not dead.
He kind of
We're not yet.
his eyes
There was
widen
a
a
like
bit.
some town got dragged here with some kind of ritual, and we were in it.
Oh,
There are some people who are dead there, but there's also some survivors.
Hmm.
okay. Please come on in. There is quite a lot that we should probably be discussing. Oh, forgive me. My name is Donatash. I am a Zor wizard. It's
You were
Donata,
at the Sealed Isle!
I was you know of the place?
do I still have his book?
We found your stuff.
You've
This
oh.
was the one, like the Flint book, right?
No,
No,
this was the area where we found it. The Flint book was our people's history. The journals
Okay.
and paper that we actually found was written by Donatash with like the puzzle stuff.
Right,
Puzzle
yes.
stuff.
He's like, we found your stuff on the island.
Oh, then you very much need to come inside. There is a lot to discuss. He kind of like retreats back inside of the hut, leaving the door open for you. You can see on the inside, it's just books everywhere. There's like, if there was any form of possibility that there could have possibly been any form of bookshelf, their use is long gone. It's just piles of books in every direction. All of a text
I
far
need to
older
make a
than
roll.
possibly any of you could read.
I was going to roll an insight on Max.
Mass is just gonna like open one and look at it like.
It's the first book you open. It's of a very old Hylian text. the best comparison I can have is you speak modern English. This is Anglo-Saxon, pre-English.
Yeah.
Pre-Old English. Oh dear.
Yeah.
It'll take effort.
um,
That won't just take Avrdal. That requires a Rosetta Stone.
yeah.
I guess some words maybe, but yeah.
Donatash kind of moves inside and heads over to like a table where there are still more books and scrolls and whatnot, and he just kind of like looks over it and then just his shoulders slump a bit, and it's like I was not prepared for this at all.
I
No,
don't think
worry
Neither
about
were
it.
we.
We were very surprised when we ended up here.
As you close the door, from upstairs there is everything okay down there? It says, we have guests. Perhaps you would like to come and see them. They are still alive. And oh, well, that seems like a rather lovely idea. And he comes like you hear as someone like trumbles down the stairs, and they poke their head out and look at you, and you see this gentleman who is tall, lanky, fairly pale of skin, long black hair. He has a jagged scar across his neck that rings around like a choker, and like he's like, oh well, I see it. And he pauses, and after a moment, Lord Simeon says, my word. And that's where we'll end the session for today.
You bastard!
So I was going to have Zayden turn to Renji and say, that is also
I've been
not my
like
wife.
braced for impact for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you everybody so much for listening to Hyrule Chronicles episode 97. This has been ArticulateT, also very braced for impact for the last 5 minutes. With me as always, I have Renji Vox being played by the little lad.
I hope he'll be proud of us.
I have Hikan Sio being played by Avrdal.
in retrospect, at least the two book nerds have something to talk about in the afterlife.
Yeah.
I have Zayden Shari being played by Robo Pirate.
Bye-bye now.
And I have Max being played by Keistra.
It's our dad. He's back.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.